Hi everyone, my name is Lucy and I am a third year student at the University of York studying Spanish and Italian, and I'm currently on my year abroad doing my second placement in Italy in Milan, teaching at a primary and nursery school. I basically wanted to give you a little bit of an overview on my year abroad and my opinions on what I've done and where I've been, and any recommendations and any advice I could give to you if you're considering a year abroad also. Okay, so I want to start with some of the most appealing parts of a year abroad, which is definitely the food.
This is just a snapshot of some of the amazing food that I ate during my time in Italy. This clip here is actually from the Starbucks Reserve Roastery, which is in the centre of Milan and is unlike any Starbucks that you will find in England. This clip is from a barbecue that I had with one of my host families, where I actually prepared with my host mum a traditional Italian tart.
Another really amazing part of a year abroad is the ability that you have to travel within the country because you have more time that you're there than just a holiday.
One of my favourite trips was when I went to Lake Como. My parents came out to visit me and we had the nicest day out there that when my friends came to visit a month later, we went back and ended up taking the most scenic boat trip ever. I would honestly really recommend seeing if you have any friends or family that want to come and visit, as it really helps if you're a little bit homesick while you're away.
I would say that in Italy, the transport has not necessarily been quite as reliable, and you do often get some very big delays on trains. So just be aware of that, but do not let that deter you from traveling a bit. I would also say make sure you pack plenty of snacks or anything you want, home comforts, because it's very difficult to send and receive packages from other countries. It does sometimes take a very long time, or you have to pay extra to get it. And yeah, I would say bring anything you want. Don't expect that you could get it brought over for you or sent over for you. I would say some of the things that I found the most interesting to do in Spain and Italy, but just in a different country in general, are visiting markets, food markets, clothes markets, everything. Honestly, it's so interesting to see the differences between what they sell here in comparison to England, and just in general a really fun day out. Also, I would say going to a cinema in another country is really fun. They always have usually either English subtitles, or the film will be in English and they'll have subtitles in that language, because often the big films are American or English. But it's a really interesting experience actually. I really enjoyed it and I went a good few times. Okay, so I would also like to talk a little bit about some of the things that were maybe more challenging during my year abroad. I would say that in Spain, I found I had a big problem with forcing myself to speak the language, because I had a lot of friends there who all came with me from York. And if you're a language student, it's really important to use this time to learn the language and to make friends with people who live in the country you've gone to visit. So I think that's just one thing I would say, is really try and push yourself out of your comfort zone and don't be afraid of making mistakes. I would say I also had the opposite problem in Italy, where everyone spoke to me in Italian, and some people spoke very quickly or some people spoke in a specific dialect, and it could be really difficult at times, especially because I was really new to the language. I would just really recommend that you politely ask people, is it okay if you slow down? You don't always have to nod and smile, and it's okay if you don't understand things. It's okay if you have to say, sorry, what did you say 5 times? I think just be really kind to yourself is what I would recommend. Another thing to be prepared for if you're going on a placement on your own is that sometimes you will be a bit lonely, or sometimes you'll wish that you had your mum there, or your friend there, or your dog, or just someone to maybe go out with. But not every day will be like that. Some days I definitely felt lonely, or I wished I had my friends here, but as long as you stay in contact with people and as long as you try really hard to make friends here. I had host families, so I personally went out of my way to spend time with them, and I had such an amazing time. And I think by being on your own, you learn a lot about yourself, and you have different experiences than you would do if you came with friends.
And in my case, all of my friends were very happy to come and visit to do lots of touristy things, so I didn't really get that lonely. This is actually us on top of the cathedral in Milan.
Overall, I would say the most important thing to think about when you're deciding if you want to do a year abroad is really trying to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. I think sometimes the things that sound the most daunting are the things that you get the most from. I was so nervous to come here on my own, teach in a school when I didn't really know the language, live with different families, but I would not change it. I really would not change it for the world. It's been the most amazing experience and I would recommend it to everyone. So I really hope that helps you make a better decision.